in Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. High through the rain, through the fire. This is my club, my only desire.
Good morning. Yeah, it's early. This is very early in the morning. I'm actually doing this before Rain goes to work. That's how early it is. Get it out for you guys today. Yes, it is game day. And yes, we are going over the predicted lineup for tonight's game at home to Newcastle United. I was about to say Crystal Palace there. At home to Newcastle United. Our last game for 12 days, Rain. 12 days and no Spurs. But the first game after that 12-day period is Arsenal, the North London derby. So that's coming up in the horizon. But Rain, how are you, bud? How are you this morning? I know it's early, so thank you very much for doing this for me at an early hour before you start off to work. So thank you very much.
I'm very good, mate. Looking forward to the game. Unfortunately, it's a midweek game, so I'm not going. I'll be watching it at home and following on the watch along.
Yeah, and you will be coming on before the watch along halftime as well and after the whistle. So you will hear Rain later this evening with all these views on the game. Is it going to be a happy Rain or a sad Rain or angry Rain? So I mentioned Lang to him last night and he went into a 30-hour long rant about Johan Lang. That is coming to the channel. Well, look, it is Newcastle United. It is going to be a tough game, Rain. Are you expecting a Tottenham side to really try to go out for Thomas Frank and put in a performance? Because Newcastle are not in great form. Or do you think it'd be the same old? It'd be Newcastle players that are going to come out and put a performance in for Eddie Howe?
Oh, I mean, I never look at it that way, Dermot. I always think that they need to do it for the fans. They shouldn't be doing it for the coaches. They should always be doing it for the fans. They're the ones who really matter. Both teams are in a very dire state in terms of recent form and not so recent form for Tottenham. So you would expect they're professional players. They need to be professional. They need to come out and do their jobs.
Yeah, they do. I mean, 1 win in the last 5 for Newcastle. No wins for us since December. December away to Crystal Palace. Does that matter? Do you know to players? Do players look at that and thinking, yeah, it does matter? Or
they must be aware how many games that they're losing, and I'm absolutely sure the Tottenham players must be aware at how close they are to the bottom of the table.
Do you think? Right. Before we get into the lineup, we know Romero suspended for the next 4 games. Does Romero still have a role to play within the squad tonight? Does he still come in and give his pre-match captain team talk? Does he still have a role to play? Like Steve Perriman had a role to play in '84 when he was still captain and came in, gave his captain team talk and came in at halftime, helped Birkinshaw out. Does Romero have a role to play tomorrow night with Thomas Frank? To be there to support him?
I hadn't really thought about it. I would presume not. I would presume that the people who are in the dressing room are the people who are going to be playing, or people who are directly in the squad. What's Romero going to do? He's not getting changed. He's going to be hanging around. He's not, directly involved. I mean, obviously he's still training, so they would have seen him during training. So I'm sure something would have been said then. Hadn't really considered it, but I'm sure it's different based on personalities. personally, if I was the head coach, I wouldn't be having anyone who's not in the first team, who's not in the squad, the match day squad, in the in the dressing room. But that would be, I think, it's personal preference.
We
What
have
would you
seen
do?
them, haven't we? For me, I would. I would. He's club captain. I would expect him there to act as club captain. I look, they will be on the sidelines. The players are always on the sidelines if they're injured and that. You see them, don't they? And in games, and you see Richarlison getting up and being as passionate as he is. I would have Romero in the dressing room because I think it's important. You've got to keep the captain there. He's got to motivate the team. And if Thomas Frank can't motivate him and his training staff can't motivate them, then surely it's down to the captain to do that job. Look, football's very different from years ago where players were more self-motivated than they are now. But I don't think this squad has it in it to be motivated. I think it's a case of Tottenham players are a little bit blinkered to what's happening. And we get it, don't we? After every defeat, they come out, oh, we're sorry, we let the fans down. But we keep hearing the same thing. And one thing I do get, and I'll get you viewing this, and then we will move on to the team news and the injuries and the predicted lineup, is at the end of the game, we've seen Vicario come out on more than one occasion to speak to the media after a defeat. We've seen Ben Davies do it at one point. We've seen other players come out, but never Romero. Does that bug you that the captain doesn't come out and speak after the game?
I think he has done a couple of times.
Yeah, but I think Vicario's done it more than he has. Is that a thing that doesn't bother you, or do you think it should be the captain come out? Sent off or not, he should still come out and face the media and apologise to the Tottenham fans. I'm sorry, whatever you think of the sending off, right? He is missing for 4 games. I'm sorry for if I went over the top. He's apologised to his teammate. But should he come out more instead of sending out Vicario or other players to come out to take the flag, where he is captain, and he should do it himself, to be fair?
It just seems like it's been club policy for quite a while for various players to come out and face the media. Generally, they're quite often players who've had a significantly good game. They like bringing those players out to come and talk to sort of the club channels and the press. I think the players, and I mean, I see where you're coming from, and I do agree with your the gist of your of what you're saying, which is that the club captain should be more involved with the press, should be more involved with speaking with journalists, should be more involved with speaking with fans.
Yeah,
and one thing that you and I have been talking about for months is the complete lack of good communications and interactive communications that come out of the club and how we get involved with them. I saw one person actually, I can't remember whether it was in chat a few weeks ago, a week or so ago, say that instead of Johan Lang being sort of given these easy questions, which are clearly pre-prepared by an in-house journalist, why can we not have a more regular sort of fan forum, or even just get questions from fans?
Yeah,
over X or something like that. And obviously the club would curate them, but you'd hope that they would ask some challenging questions of Lange, because it just seems the things that the players, the people inside the club, everyone except Frank, who does have to speak to independent voices, they all just get soft interviews.
They do. I think Thomas Frank's the only one that gets the hard ones, and And look, you look in Italy, you look in Germany, you look in European football. There's the manager talks about the game, the medical staff talk about the medical staff, the football director talks about the football director staff and the transfers, and the owners speak about the club. Everyone has their own press conference, and in this country, it's always been the manager has to answer for everything. For me, I think that's wrong, and I think sometimes they're asking the question to Frank that Frank has no right to answer or no knowledge of the answer. And what can he say about, well, yeah, look at his press conference yesterday. Like, it was, he's been asked questions about Romero before the Man United game, and he's saying, well, we'd deal with it internally. But to the journalists, that wasn't good enough, was it? That wasn't, they wanted more. So I do feel, look, I do feel it's a topic we need to speak about on the show, on the normal 8 o'clock night show. Because I do feel as the season's going to go on, I think the pressure is going to grow on Thomas Frank. I think the pressure is going to grow on the questioning he's going to ask, and he's going to need people around him to help him. And as I said before, I find him a very cut and lonely figure now at Tottenham. And I feel sorry for him in one way. On the human level, I feel sorry for him because he is under an immense pressure. He's getting no help from the board. He's getting no help from Johan Lang. We can see publicly, maybe privately, but publicly we don't see him coming out. We don't see the players coming out and supporting him. Romero puts out a tweet and gets liked by half the squad. I don't think that helps anyone. And I think at the moment, Tottenham are in a bit of civil war at the moment. The club's divided. The fans in one side, the ownership in another, the manager there and the team in another. And it doesn't help anyone. And when you are in a relegation battle, you need everyone to pull in the same direction. Because you know as well as I do, Ryan, and I will get you to answer this before we move on to the final part, that if you don't pull in all in the same direction, you are very likely and very quickly to be, before you know it, you are in the bottom three with 3 games to go, fighting for your life. Do you know what I'm getting at? Do you think politics and everything has to put to one side and we all have to pull in one direction to get out of this situation we're in? Because if we lose tomorrow night, West Ham win, there's only 3 points, isn't there, between us and West Ham?
I don't know what's a scarier thought. I don't know what's a scarier thought, that the club is divided and people are doing different things, or that everybody is on the same page, to be honest. Because if everybody's on the same page and they're all quite happy with what's going on, that also is very, very scary. You know what I mean? Because clearly what's been happening at the club for the last 7 months, especially, I think, even if you want to just have a look, at the last couple of months, including the January transfer window, if everybody was involved with that and everybody was on board with that, then they're all culpable for the position that we're in.
Yeah, look, I go back to years ago in '77 when we did go down. Everyone fought. The fans, the club, the players were all in it together. The fans did their bit, the players did their bit, Birkinshaw did his bit, and it worked out in the end, didn't it? I don't know. It's scary. I have a funny feeling. I have a funny feeling this could go to the last game of the season. You know that? We could go to the last game of the season at home fighting to stay in the Premier League. That is going to, if that did happen, that would be such an emotional roller coaster of a watch along to do. Could you imagine last game of the season? But look, let's hope we don't get that. Let's hope we don't get there. Rain, let's talk about Newcastle. Let's get into the team news. That's what people are here for. Not hearing us talk about politics, they hear club politics, they hear talking about Tottenham versus Newcastle. The team news, Destiny Udogi's out for 4 or 5 weeks with a hamstring injury. Jed Spence is back to face Newcastle. Danso is still weeks away as well, which I know you'd be disappointed and I'm disappointed that is, but he's done well since come in. Kulu has an appointment at the end of the week. We'll know more then. And then Romero is suspended for 4 games. Just very quickly on the team news, get your views on it, Rain. Jed Spencer's back, which is great news. Your dog is out for 4 to 5 weeks. Danso out, but Kulu. How worried are you, like I am, that he could be out for the whole? We won't see him to start next season, or do you think there's a glimmer of hope he might return before the end of the season?
I haven't been expecting Kulusevski to come back this season. To be honest, I wasn't expecting Danzo to be back this season. And it says he's weeks away. Oh, that's fantastic. But if we're talking for let's take the 4 to 5 weeks. Let's take the 5 weeks. That's the middle of March. There's only like a month and a bit left. So, obviously we need as many bodies back as many back as we can get. But how much do we trust these statements from? I know that Frank doesn't trust them. That's why he doesn't want to talk about them. And how much do we trust them? I mean, I instantly see 4 to 5 weeks for your doggy, and my brain goes, double it. That's what my brain says. My brain says double it. If they're telling you 5 weeks, it's probably more like 10. If they're telling you 3 months, it's probably more like 6. Do you know what I'm? Because that's what happens all the time. So I just don't have any faith or any trust in the numbers that they come back to us with. A lot of people are wondering if Kulusevski's ever going to play football again.
That has crossed my mind. I just wish the club were more up. It has crossed my mind, but look, again, I think you and me have talked so much different topics in this sort of predicted lineup that there's a few shows in them. There's a few different shows we could do, but I think there is one that we could do one big pre-record. I'm sure we could. This is the injury list. We know.
Sorry, just lastly.
Yeah, sorry. I'll go back.
Sorry. Just lastly, the really disappointing thing with Spence is he's now going to play left back.
Yeah,
and
that's it.
And yes, we need a good footballer, but there's almost a question, and everybody's going to say Spencer's going to come and play left back. I don't want to get into your predicted lineup before we get there, but I just don't want to see Spence at left back.
It is your predicted lineup with my twist on it. To be fair.
No, I know, and everybody will have Spence at left back. But I think the disappointing thing is we've looked so much better with Udogie.
Yeah.
And he's not a significantly better player. He's just left-footed.
Yeah.
On the left
well,
back.
Let's get into it because we do have questions about it. We'll go for another 5 minutes and then we will wrap things up. The injury list, of course, is long and it's hard. We've got Kulu, Maniton, Kudus, Richardson. Sorry. Bless me.
Bless
sorry.
Thank
you. Richarlison, Davis, Bergville, Bentancur, Pora, and now Danso's out with his foot as well. So that is a long injury list. Well, this is it. This is the predicted lineup. Just to give out to you people, I'm working through a new design. This is not how it would be for the Arsenal game. There's a new design coming. I have started with the Vicario in goal. I've got the back four of Jed Spence, Dragonson, and Mickey van der Ven, and Archie Gray. I don't know, I'm like an Italian with my hands all the time. Yeah, they give me spaghetti. We've got a midfield three of Gallagher, Palunia, and Sarr, and then a front three of Xavi on the left, Odegaard on the right, and Solanke up front. Now, there is going to be an argument, Rain, on this back four that you would start Sousa on the left and play Spence on the right, and you drop Gray into midfield with either Gallagher or you drop Gallagher and you start Palunia. Is that an option, do you think? Because I think that was your back four. What was Spence? Is that another option for Thomas Frank to just shake things up a little bit at the back four?
We can't play this 19-year-old Brazilian kid. Surely we can't. I mean, maybe. Only Frank will know in training. How he's doing, how he's performing, what he looks like, whether he's going to last 60 to 70 minutes of Premier League pace. only whether he understands the defensive requirements that he'll have in the Premier League, as well as the requirements to get forwards and to understand when to do both. Only Frank and his coaching team will know, or will have any kind of inkling whether this Brazilian kid is capable of doing that. Yes, he looks okay against Man United at the weekend, but it was a very short stint, and I don't think he wasn't challenged that much. Yeah, I don't know. I think the other question is whether Frank persists with three at the back.
Yes,
and brings Paulinho into a back three with Dragusin and Van der Ven, and then has two wing backs, Gallagher, and so it's just. But the facts of the matter are the facts are we've only got about 11 fit players, excluding Sousa.
Yeah.
So it's just shifting deck chairs. It's the classic shifting deck chairs. You move. It's the same players. We're just playing them in a slightly different position. So, against Newcastle at home, I like three in midfield because it's going to be a battle. That they're going to be strong. The thug is going to be throwing his weight around in the centre of their midfield, and I think this is as good a shout as any you're going to get.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just getting some news, and
we could do with keeping 11 players on the pitch for longer than half an hour, though. This time, guys.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just getting some news. Just getting some breaking news for you guys. So you're going to get it first and fastest. Could be. I'm just trying to get confirmation on it. Right, what I can say, until I get more confirmation on this, guys, I will mention at the end. So that's our predicted lineup. So let's know, guys, if you agree, disagree, or if you do three at the back. If you think going back to a 4-2-3-1 is a good formation, would we start three at the back? So let us know. I know this has been a bit of a funny predicted lineup because we have talked about a few topics, but we are going to finish on Thomas Frank. Very quickly, Rain. I'm waiting for more information, and hopefully it's in. But sources close to us, close to this channel, have just informed me that the situation, that indicating that Tottenham Hotspur are now at critical point regarding Thomas Frank. Now there is a split in the hierarchy. Some want stability, others believe the situation is already beyond repair. Now, sort of the key details on that is Europe is currently buying Frank time. Domestically, the patient is almost gone. Just get your quick thoughts on that, bud. There is more to it. I probably will go into it more later on in the day. But what's your sort of early inklings to that little bit of breaking news on Thomas Frank?
I'm still in the same position. I think it's disgusting. I'm absolutely in the. I don't want Frank to be our manager anymore. But he has absolutely been thrown under the bus.
Yeah,
there is and you know what? Any future coach is coming in a bad position. We've just had a look at the predicted lineup, and it's not a matter of picking which players you want to play. It's we've only got those players, and where we're going to play them. It's no professional Premier League football club should be left in that position. And I reread Lang's interview, and in the interview he quotes about we're getting players back from injury. That is incompetence. That is he has left our club high and dry. If that is the approach that they took in January,
Yeah.
it's absolutely disgusting what they've done.
It is.
Disgusting.
I agree. Look, you may not like Thomas Frank, you may like him or not like him, but on a human level, I think it's disgusting how they treat him on a human level. I think we can all relate to him on a human level, can't we? I think the club. Look, this again is for another show, Rain, but I do feel that this week you and me are going to have a conversation on the club and the way the club are acting, and maybe we need to look back at previous ownerships or previous times. If this was Daniel Levy, I think Levy would have made a decision before now. I think we all would agree with that. He would have made a decision before now, and I think the situation now would have changed itself. But I think under the precedent that they set themselves up last season under Postecoglou, when they kept him in all season because we were doing well in Europe, I think the board are now keeping to that same precedent that they kept in last season. But look, if the hierarchy is split in this, the fan base is split in this. This is what I was talking about earlier in the video. This is we don't need this at this time. We need to be all together. Rightly or wrongly, if you want the manager out, you want him out. If you want him to stay, stay. But we've got to be together. And this is another reason why I think we're sleepwalking into relegation. Because we don't need to...
No. We're sleepwalking to relegation because we don't have enough players. It's not to do with Frank.
No,
it's to do with the fact that our players are being run into the ground.
But what I was saying was very quickly, I wasn't blaming Frank as a top. I think everyone has to take responsibility. I think Johan Lang has to take responsibility. The board have to take responsibility. The players that are fit have to take responsibility. And Frank has to take responsibility. The medical team have to take responsibility. Everyone has to take their share of the pie, right? And I agree with that. I totally agree with you that Johan Lang has left this manager high and dry. Completely high and dry. There's others people's attitude is, well, I didn't want them to buy players for him anyway. Well, you could have got a few on loan, with a loan with an option or a loan with an obligation. We've got the youngsters. We used it. People saying bring back the youngsters. Well, what are they going to do? They're not Premier League ready. You know,
we need bodies.
We need bodies. We need
bodies. We've got 16 and 17-year-olds on the bench, Dermot.
Yeah, I know.
So bring back Lancashire. Don't send Scarlett out. You know,
that's the bit I don't get. Bring back Mikey Moore, who have got Premier League experience.
He's only 18, 19.
Yeah, but he's got Premier League experience.
Absolutely, and we've just bought a 19-year-old Brazilian.
Yeah, I know.
And yet one of our own promising players we've got out on loan when he absolutely would be getting Premier League minutes. It's completely mismanaged from top to bottom, and they're sitting there with their checked shirts, and they're going out on doing their little bike rides to keep themselves fit. Get in the bloody office and do some work, because you're ruining our club.
Yeah. Sorry, imagine waking up and the first thing you get is is breaking news. It does set you up great for the day. It really does. But look, guys, we will keep you up and adjusted on that, so don't worry about that. But look, the latest I can give you in that, and I've got more on it as well before we go, and we and Rain will discuss this probably tonight on the watch along, is that internal conversations have moved from monitoring to preparing. So that's another sort of bit of language coming out as well, Rain, as well. So look, we've got more to talk about it tonight. I have asked the question, and it's stupid, really. Could tonight, if we lose tonight, could that be it? And I've got a response with potentially. So we do have, how many days do we have towards Arsenal? Was it 12 days before we play Arsenal?
12. Yeah, it's 12. Yeah.
Do you think it's enough time if they were to make a change? Right. I know you want Frank to the end of the season. I know that, but just hypothetically.
I don't care. I don't care.
You don't
care.
Is it, right. Let me ask you this then. And very quickly, is there a manager out there you think is the right who we need right now? Is there a manager out there that's out of work and you think, do you know what? Let's get him in. He can save us from relegation. Who would that man be?
No, I don't think it makes any difference. I don't think it makes any difference.
Is the
Whoever
club
the
that
coach
rotten?
is.
Is the club that rotten in your eyes then? And
There's
that
only 11 players.
broken?
What's the new coach supposed to do?
No, forget about the 11 players. I'm talking about. I know we've got an injury crisis. Yeah,
I
but I'm
don't think
talking-
the coach. I don't think a coach is going to impact where we're going to be in 3 months' time. I'm not going to change my opinion on that.
So does that? So then the medical department that needs looking at, doesn't it, as well? Because there have been a shambles.
I fully agree with Tequila that we should burn the whole lot down and rebuild everything.
There you go.
Including
That's what I wanted to hear.
Including
That's
the
what I
training ground.
wanted to hear. Thank you so much. That's what I wanted to hear. We finally got there. The three of us have agreed to burn the whole club down, hypothetically, not literally. At last, we're on the same.
I just don't think that sacking Frank now, sacking Frank in a week, sacking Frank. Whilst I want Frank to leave, I don't think I don't think a new coach is going to make any difference to the performances at Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. I think I think our performances are pretty good, but we've got players in our first team who continually make catastrophic errors that lead to us losing games. Vicario, I'm looking at you, pal. Romero, here we go again. Right? Now we're back to the position where Spence is going to be at left back, and that's going to completely stunt our ability to attack, and people are going to be upset because we're not attacking properly. Well, we've actually been playing quite well over the last. You have a look at it was only half. It was only one half of the game against City, but we played really well against Man United. We were playing really well until Bozo.
We started well. Yeah, we started really well, and I will admit
so,
that.
So what's the new manager going to do? Come in and get us playing better than those incidents? I can't see it. Is the new coach going to come in and stop the bozo and individual errors? No, because they've been going on since Postecoglou. It's nothing to do with the coach. It's to do with the individual players. We need to get rid of them. We need to get new players in. And unfortunately now, we can only do that in the summer.
And we've got a bozo of a director of football as well.
Yeah.
And a bozo of an owners. So really, what you're trying to tell me is we're a
bozo club.
Clown.
We're a bozo club.
We're bozo the clown club. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why does Benny Hill...
Q banana splits.
Right, on that bombshell, if we're going to finish off, big up to everyone. Do like and subscribe. I hope this has been a bit of a different predicted lineup, but I hope you've enjoyed it, guys.
Having said all that,
we all want our team.
I do think we can beat Newcastle.
Yeah, I do too. What are you going for, bud? What's your score prediction?
2-0. I do think we can beat Tottenham. I think we can beat Newcastle. The problem is, how many players are we going to have coming out of that game? Are we going to? Because if we have any injuries, then it causes problems down the line. We can absolutely go and beat Newcastle. Solanke is on form. Xavi has been playing way better. Gallagher has been doing a really good job. Paulinho is just a rock. Yeah, I think Dragusin against Man City was fantastic.
Yeah,
I'm really upset that we're going to end up with Spence back at left back because he limits us. Gray's been relatively solid at right back. It's just that we know there's going to be more attrition.
Yeah, there is. Look, I'm going for a 3-0 win. I think we can win tonight 3-0. I think we're going to batter them. We set ourselves up for disappointment, don't we? But we always go into it positive. I don't think you and me have yet come on and said we want our team to lose. We've never done that. Well, listen, I know you're a busy man, so I'm going to let you go and crack on with your day. I'm going to crack on, get everything ready for the lineup tonight. I'm going to get my watch-along voice ready. I'm going to get my notes ready for the players and all this and get all my notes I need guys, do like, do subscribe. Let us know if you like this. Let us know if you want us to continue doing this style of predicted lineup. Do talk about Tottenham as a whole news, go into the team news, and go into the predicted lineup. Let us know if you like this style. Let us know in the comments. If not, we'll go back to the old way. But let us know. We're trying to keep things different for you guys. Members will get to see this first, and members, this will go out to this will all it would have go out for you in the next few minutes, and then everyone else it'll be on at 1 o'clock for you guys, UK time, GMT. Do watch it and do like and subscribe. Wherever you do, we're back tonight at 7:05. Come on, you Spurs, in the Michael Cockrell we trust. Quick question, right? Before we go, who's going to stay in the job longer? Thomas Frank or Keir Starmer?
Oh, I don't know.
Should we run a bet?
No, I haven't checked to see if Starmer's still in his job.
Should we have a bet? Who's gonna stay in the job longer, him or Frank? On that bombshell, we'll leave it there. See you later. Bye.
Tottenham till I die. Raise a banner.